This says construction 9. Okay, we're going to divide a segment into blank equal pieces. It's blank because you could do whatever number you wanted to. You could cut it into 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever equal pieces. We're going to do 5, but they would all be done the same way. Although if you had to break a segment into 2 equal pieces, you would just do the perpendicular bisector of it. And then if you wanted 4, the easiest would be to do this and then bisect that and bisect that. But you could use this way too. Now, when you do this, you're probably going to want a lot of room above the segment, because if you make this too small, it's going to be really hard to do with your compass. So we got to have a segment to start with that we're going to bisect, or I mean cut into pieces. So don't make it too short, again, or else that makes it too hard to do. And again, you're going to want plenty of room above it for doing your stuff. So the first step is just to draw any ray AC, which means you got to start at A and go anywhere you want. Now, to make it easier to do this construction, it is easier if you kind of go up at roughly this kind of an angle. Now C, we're not going to use that for any reason, it's just there to label that it's ray AC. So you could have put C anywhere on there, but so everyone got this so far? Okay. If you need if your compass is loose, I got a screwdriver if you need to tighten it. Anyone need theirs tightened? No? Okay, now this next part is starting at A, make 5 equidistant marks with the compass. And then connect the last mark with B. So when you do this, this is why you want as long of a line here. You're going to open this up however wide you want, but if you make it too tiny, it's going to be really hard to do the next step. So you don't want it too close, but you don't want it so wide that when we make 5 marks, you go off your line. So I'm just going to put mine right about like this. So you just make a mark, and then keep it the same, go up from that one. So we're going to find 5 spots. That are all equidistant apart. So everyone follow that? And then remember, once you get to that last point, that last mark, connect it with V. So everyone's is going to be a little different. It doesn't have to look just like this. You know, you may have come way up here, so you're drawing it, it's going to be an obtuse triangle. Really doesn't matter. Now, to make the next steps easier, if you got a pen or a different colored pen or a darker, you're going to want to color these in so you remember these dots, because we're going to make it in other marks. But these are the points that we got to remember, so make them a little bigger or a different color if you can, and it'll be easier. Now all we're trying to do here, the reason why this is in this section, is remember if you had parallel lines and I drew a line through it and all these were the same distance, so they're all the same distance apart, we had, no, we had a problem, this was one of your problems if you remember, and then they had another line in there. Since these are all the same, what do you know about these? They're all the same, because it's proportional. So what we're going to end up doing is if we can draw parallel lines to this one, since all of these would be the same, then where these parallel lines go through, they would cut it into pieces all the same. Okay? So the next step then is copy the last angle at all the marks. We need to copy this angle here, 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 and there. The reason why you do that is, remember, if two lines are parallel, what do you know is true? Which angles? Corresponding angles are congruent, which is what we're going to use here. Also alternate interior, alternate exterior. So what happens is if we make these parallel, this angle is going to correspond to that one's going to correspond to that one, and that one, and that one. So, copying an angle, we did that in construction, what, 3, 4, 5, something like that, 2 maybe, I don't know. So the way you copy an angle, this is the one we're copying. So, you got to make an arc through it. So you go here, make any arc you want, and really all we need is where it intersects the side, so you don't have to make a full arc if you don't want to. Because all we're worried about is that point and that point. But then you gotta go and copy that at each other point. So you gotta make the same arcs. That's why we wanted to make these dots stand out, so we don't get them confused with when we make all these arcs. That's gonna be pretty good, I think. So you just go here, make any arc, and then you go to each point and make the same arc. So has everyone got these 5 lines going down? Or 5 arcs? So the next step is to copy this angle. We got to see how wide this is and make all of these the same width. So you use your compass, you open it up from here to here, and then you slide down here and you make a mark. So that's going to be the same. And then you do the same thing there, and the same thing there, and the same thing there. So all you do is you measure these 2 points, and then make this the same distance, this the same distance, this and this. So now what happens is you get 3 points. You got this and these 2 points, this and these 2 points. So what you do then is connect your vertex to that, and that'll make a parallel line. See how close I am. So that one's pretty close. And then I connect this one to that one, this one to that one, and this one to that one. So mine turned out pretty good. Not too bad. It's a little off right there. So, since these lines are all parallel, and these are all the same distance apart, these would all have to be same distance apart, so now we cut this into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal pieces.